What's up, it's the Almost Soul Player, and today I'm actually giving you a voiceover commentary. So the deal in the background is going to be me and my friends and my brother playing the raid for for me, the second time, for my brother, the first time. We end up getting all 4 monitors, and we also end up getting the quest for the pulse rifle. And I'll get into that quest probably in the next video, because we'll probably work on it tomorrow. Anyway, guys, so basically, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 tips for Wrath of the Machine. Okay, let's get started. So number one is it should be an easy tip, but remember to tell all your players before you start which pedestal you'll start with. So then, because we had this happen during the raid, our random, and he ended up apologizing for it, but our random accidentally hit the pedestal next to us during phase 2, and it ended up fucking up the pedestal, and both of them dropped instead of just one dropping after he switched. So just make sure you don't have any other people hitting that pedestal unless you need to. So yeah, just make sure you're telling people where they need to go for the pedestals to not get killed and not have to go down. Okay, so number two. So number 2 is make sure which cannon you have and make sure which servitor is coming out your side. So what I mean by this is that, say Scorch is on right, you get it from the captain on right, and Scorch is on left, the servitor. That means you tell right to go left, and then once all the servitors are dead, make sure you have your guys return back to where they were. And just make sure you guys are grabbing the right cannons, and make sure you don't, fuck up what cannon you grab, because we had that happen while my brother was playing, and he thought he grabbed Shock, and he ended up grabbing Void, and we ended up wiping around because he grabbed the wrong one, and it's not his fault, he didn't know, like, it was fucked. We ended up doing this like 15 times, so I don't know how many, I didn't count, but we did it a lot. Anyway, so number 3, make sure you have Empowered on every side. Now, we ended up making this mistake a few times because we kept saying, oh, is there Empowered? Is there Empowered? Is there Empowered? And sometimes we forgot to ask a side if it had Empowered, and nobody was there. So we ended up having his back closed, and he ended up basically kicking our ass. So just make sure you have one of each Empowered on each side, and if that means one has to switch because you have 2 people Empowered on one side, that is okay. Just make sure they slam down into him so then you can wipe him out. Okay, so number 4. Now, this is only 3 minutes, so I'm just gonna go to 10. So number 4, I'm going to say, is make sure you grab as many heavy ammo, special ammo as you can before the raid. Yeah, it's gonna drop like wildfire, but once you get into like that 10th, 15th time, there's gonna be like no ammo. Everybody's gonna be slacking, so make sure you have them since, even regular ammo since, because, regular ammo. Just make sure your team is full of ammo just in case you have to go way past the amount of tries it takes to actually get this thing done. So yeah, just make sure you have all ammo. Number 5. Okay, so number 5, I have to admit this, I've done this myself. If you have somebody who goes down in the raid while you're trying to do stuff, like say you're on a side and you were designated as one who throws SIVA clusters, or charges, or whatever the fuck they're called, I can't remember, but, well, if your friend goes down and they're supposed to do the cannon, pick up the cannon, have another guy from like the middle, if you're on left, have the guy from the middle jump up and throw the charge. Now, what we would actually do is wait until we had it Empowered on every side and then throw the charge, but yeah, but that'll lead into another tip to not suck at the raid. But just make sure you grab that cannon, blast his ass off, and then, make sure you, res that guy as soon as you can, so then he can continue to help you in the raid. So the sixth but the sixth tip that I can give you guys is make sure, now this is a big one, make sure that everyone is on, like, everyone who's empowered is on the right side. Because we ended up falling victim to this many times, and we just finally said, you know what? Let's hold a charge as long as we can to make sure everybody's on his side. So if you have to, have somebody hold the last charge to take down his shield, but don't hold it too long because it might disappear. Make sure you know when it disappears. And yeah, so just hold a charge, get everybody in position, and then throw it so then you know where it's going. Now, like I said, it switches, so if you need somebody in middle, make sure you have someone mid. And as soon as it switches, make sure you have people in their places, so then you're not screwing up with that. So, I believe I am on my 7th? Yeah, I think I'm on my 7th. So my 7th fact for you, well, not fact, tip for you guys is make sure you're using the right weapons. Now, I unfortunately fell victim to this when I was using the Dragon's Breath to shoot Axis at the end of it, because we actually did get to the end of it once, and I ended up shooting him with the Dragon's Breath, and it did nothing. So I ended up switching to Iron Gjallarhorn and infusing my Dragon's Breath into it. So if you guys have it, use the Iron Gjallarhorn. And also we found out that the Black Spindle does a lot more damage than a regular, like a regular 1,000-yard stare. And also, if you have a 1,000-yard stare, or if you have a Devil's Dawn, I'd rather use Devil's Dawn because it has more impact on it and it'll have more taking away. Now, during that playthrough, we actually had like 4 tethers, so yeah, that was fun. Anyway, tip number 8. So this is for any of you guys, tip number 8's for any of you guys who want to go for the exotic chest for number 4 monitor. The 4th monitor. So if you guys are entering the code, you guys probably will have to look up the code because I don't have any images of it. If I do, I will pop it on screen right now, so you guys can copy that image and go on and do the raid with that image. But as for things, so if the guy closest to the entrance to the puzzle is the row, and the guy farthest is the column. So the guy farthest goes first, and then the guy with the row goes second. And guys, also don't forget that there is a row 0 on that deal. We ended up falling victim to not only the first one, but the second one as well. We forgot there was row 0, and we also forgot that right has to go, well, farthest has to go first. Anyway, so yeah, do that. Make sure you're fast. And by the way, if anybody tells you that the monitor has to say activate monitor again, you did it wrong in a reset. But if the monitor just keeps flashing numbers, just keep reading them out. And also, I'm gonna include a binary code thing as well, so then you guys can go off that. Anyway, my 9th tip. Okay, so for the 9th tip is, so you guys should be able to get past the first guy pretty okay, both phases, because he's not too hard. So yeah, let's go to the siege machine. Let's give you guys a tip for the siege machine. So for the siege machine, make sure you take out the turrets before you go down there, and make sure you at least have somebody with a tether, so that you can actually tether all the enemies when you're first shooting it. And then make sure you still have somebody with tether when you go down to move the parts, because if you don't, you might get fucked by a lot of Reaver Vandals, Captains, and all those guys. So just be careful. And also, guys, do not forget that the engine block goes in the back left, way the fuck back. The warhead goes on the middle left, and the, well, not left as in left the engine block. Like, you go up that ramp and you go straight, and then it goes left in that slot. And then the final thing, the drive shaft goes right in the only slot that's available after that. So, yeah. Okay, my 10th tip and my final tip to you guys. So, for all you guys wondering, hey, will I need to have SIVA keys and things like that before I go in? So SIVA cache keys are hard to come by because you have to kill all the bosses. So if, say you're starting off fresh and you kill all the bosses, plus you open caches, you should have enough to at least, especially if you're coming off the story, to at least open one cache, and then you'll get enough to open another one by the time, I believe, you hit the siege machine. Don't quote me on that. But by the end of it, you should get at least two SIVA keys by the end of it. Choose wisely what chest you want to open and make sure that it's good. We have found out that the Chaos Dogma comes out of the last chest, and the final boss does drop the last shell. Like we've said, it's RNG, so it's not gonna matter. And also, just as a bonus tip for you guys, if you sit there and, like, say you keep fucking up some stupid shit. So, here's a tip for all the people carrying cannons. Don't die off the map. The reason why this is because they haven't fixed the bug yet where if you die off the map, the cannon is off the map where you died. Which basically means if you fell off the map, it's down there where you fell, where you basically initially died, and you're basically gonna have to instant wipe, and you don't want that, so make sure you don't fall off the map. And if you do, make sure you're not a guy who's running a cannon. Anyway, guys, if you guys like that video with your, with the 10 tips instead of 5, I'll call it 10 Destiny, raid tips. Hit that like button, comment down below if you guys have any questions about how to do the raid. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Destiny and other PS4 games coming your way. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a good day and a good week. I'm the Only Soul Player, and I'm out. See ya. If I can actually do this right. Anyway, see ya.